I've been active in community service for most of my life. As a teenager, I became inspired by Ronald Reagan, his affability, his common sense, his clarity, and his conviction. I will always remember the parting remarks he delivered at the end of one of the most successful presidencies in our nation's history. President Reagan said that he hoped he appealed to our greatest hopes, not our worst fears, to our confidence, not our doubts. I only hope that in this campaign, I can make such an appeal. I was also inspired by a quote from another larger-than-life president, Theodore Roosevelt, with whom I share a common birthday, October 27th. President Roosevelt said, "It is true of individuals and of nations that the greatest of doers must also be the greatest of dreamers." It pains me when people speak of the so-called Republican brand as if the party of Abraham Lincoln and Ronald Reagan, a heartfelt and time-tested set of principles and values, can be compared to a soap detergent or a brownie mix. A favorite tactic of those seeking to vilify the GOP is to paint us quite simply as the party of no. Well, in life and in leadership, it often takes more courage to just say no than to just say yes, to stand up to what is wrong rather than to go along to get along. If being the party of no means just saying no to government as usual, no to backroom deals, no to passing bills that are not read or understood, no to putting politics over people and power-seeking over problem-solving, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means saying no to increasing the taxes and red tape which stifle the entrepreneurial spirit and prevent businesses from growing, investing, and hiring, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means saying no to spending money we don't have, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means saying no to the surrender of our freedoms to unelected bureaucrats in Washington or to international bodies, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means saying no to federal policy that won't enforce our laws or secure our borders, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means opposing the 2,000-plus page takeover of our nation's healthcare system, which has dealt a bruising blow to American freedom and medical excellence, and has resulted in higher costs, less quality care, and less available care, I will just say no every time. If being the party of no means standing up against a foreign policy where we are not true to our friends and not tough enough on our enemies, I will just say no every time. I lost a lot of sleep pondering the decision to enter this race. This is such a critical election year. It is so important to work as a team and that each of us channel our time, energy, and resources most effectively. Some say this is an uphill battle not worth fighting, that this will always be a safe seat to which my opponent, 29-year career politician Jerrold Nadler, is entitled. After much soul-searching, I reached the conclusion that this is a battle we must fight and a battle we can win. This is a battle we must fight because my opponent must be defeated. He spent the last 29 years taxing and spending our way to the mess we're in. I would work to restore fiscal discipline. He has been downright hostile toward the financial services and health sciences industries, which are the primary revenue generators and job creators in our district. I would help create jobs. He represents the district which remains the #1 terrorist target in the country. Yet throughout his career, he has been more concerned with terrorist rights than with terrorist wrongs. I would make our safety and security my top priority. He seeks to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the confessed mastermind of September 11th and the murder of Daniel Pearl, in a civilian court in Lower Manhattan. This is the wrong idea and the wrong location. He stood deafeningly silent while Barack Obama pursued the most anti-Israel policies of any president in American history, but stepped to the forefront to defend the taxpayers' continued funding of Acorn and the right of developers to build a mosque near Ground Zero. He called those expressing opposition to the poor and insensitive choice of location of the mosque, including the families of the victims of 9/11, hateful, shameful, and divisive, in an effort to intimidate them into silence. He accused those expressing views and sensitivities different from his as engaging in hate speech. But I was at the community board meetings. It wasn't hate speech. It was hurt speech, sensitive pleas for respect and understanding. We must win this election because we cannot ignore the symbolic importance of this district to our nation. In the midst of this latest controversy, this district has become America's district. It includes downtown, the heart of American capitalism and the symbol of American prosperity, as well as the site of Ground Zero. It includes Ellis Island, the initial embarkation point for so many seeking a better life for their children. And it includes our Statue of Liberty. I believe that if we are to win the hearts and souls of Americans, we cannot give up on the district, which is the heart and soul of America. An uphill victory here would uplift the American psyche and send a valuable message to those seeking to do us harm. I also believe that ours must be a transcendent message, which resonates with those in the middle of Times Square, as well as those in the Midlands of the United States. We must remind our neighbors, all of our neighbors, that as Americans we will rise or fall together, that what unites us is far more important than our differences. If we lose our national security, we may very well lose our lives, or we'll lose our liberty. And all those other issues that seem so important to so many will be rendered meaningless. If we do not reignite the private sector and achieve prosperity, we will be depriving all of our children of opportunity and the American dream. This message transcends party or ideology. It is not a Republican message or a Democratic message, a liberal message or a conservative message. It is quintessentially an American message. I hope you will join us in taking our message to every apartment building in Brownstone, condo and co-op, synagogue, church, mosque, senior center, subway car, diner, street corner, street fair, and anywhere else they'll let us. We must out-community organize the community organizer. In the words of President Reagan, delivered on the day I was born, you and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We will preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we will sentence them to take the first step into 1,000 years of darkness. If we fail, at least let our children and our children's children say of us, we justified our brief moment here. We did all that could be done. Let's take our city back. Let's take our country back. Let's win this one for the Gipper.